So, yeah. Hi everyone, this is Neval once again from Vesh IAS. Hope every one of you is doing good. And as we are moving towards the geography series where we are completing class 12 NCERTs for you people, of course, and this is the third lecture in the series. In previous two in previous two lectures, we have completed the two chapters. So, yeah, I hope you must have watched them as well. You must have watched them. If not, then you can start from here also. This is like not the part 2, so you can start fresh from here as well, but make sure that you watch those videos as well. Okay. Other than that, Vesh IAS is available everywhere: Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook. You can contact directly on WhatsApp as well. Okay. Yeah, so we are starting unit 3. We are done with 2 chapters. Number 1, chapter number 2 we are done with. We are starting with chapter number 3. Human settlement, that was very good. We have completed everything. In chapter number 1, density of the population, we have everything over there as well. So is this chapter. But before starting this chapter, you need to understand something, that this is the most important chapter of this book. I mean it. Yes, this is the most important chapter of this book, because what happens here you study about agriculture, patterns and crops, dead and all those, which we will be doing every scratch. Okay, and other than that, here we'll be talking about what land resources impacts India and how the policies are being formed in India. We'll be having 2 parts of this video. You can watch it in even 2x mode as well. So as you all know, that you must have heard about the Patwaris putting the like counting the land, measuring the land, and you must have heard people getting their land converted to agriculture land, like from agriculture to commercial land. Okay, so there is a category of land. Before starting this chapter, land resources in agriculture, you should know this thing, that there is a category of everything. Okay, the what happens is the category adds to the reporting area, okay, which is actually different from the geographical area. For example, like I have 100 acres land and farming is only done on 10 acres. So the reporting area and the agriculture land area, both are different things. So what happens, category adds up to the reporting area. Like for example, your 100 acres of land, 50 acres, 50 acres of the land is devoted towards commercial things, and 50 acres of land you're using for the agriculture things. So that makes a difference to the culture. So what you have to do over here is you have to link land resources with the agriculture thing. Okay, this measures the land responsible. If you have like if you with anyone people, if you are in contact with any of the government employees, they must be telling you about the revenue department. Okay, they does all those things. It starts from Tehsildar from the bottom to the collectors are at the topmost level. Like more levels are there, but the land thing is done over there, basically the rural section. So what I mean to say over here is the land use pattern defines like adds up to the reporting area, like what reporting area and who is responsible for it. Okay, and you know that if you want to get your geographical area measured, it adds up to the administrative units of India. Okay, so you must have prepared for Survey of India maps and all. You must have prepared it in your school days as well. So there's a difference between the two concepts, that the former one, like the Survey of India, changes somewhat depending on the estimate of land revenue records. Again, when I was talking about the Patwari, the Tehsildars people, okay, so these people somewhat depends on like this. These are the revenue records, land revenue records, and for example, this is the amount which have been received during the conversion of land. Okay, let me just keep it very simple for you. For example, in this month we have received this much of land. Like it is not done on the monthly basis. For this month, this much of revenue has been collected from the land. Okay, so this particular thing, the Survey of India or like the administrative units, they will just tell you that this is the land revenue record. That is based on the land revenue records. And the other one, it doesn't changes. It basically happens as per the Survey of India measurements. Got my administrative and the land revenue records, administrative unit and the land revenue records. So what the Survey of India does is a different thing, and what this administrative units do is a different thing. Very important to understand, because in future when you are going to be the IAS officers, you will be also some SDM, and you will become collector. You will be also, some of you will also be posted in the revenue departments. So there you are going to understand those things. Okay, to the future IAS. Okay. Yeah, before beginning and keep taking our chapter further, you must be knowing that Vaishya subject-wise test PDF. This offer is valid till 31st of January, and we are only taking the selected students. So we'll be closing it super soon. Yes, if you can grab this opportunity from like till 31st of January, then you can get it. Like we have the 100% syllabus bestseller package over here. Okay, original price was like 12,199. But we have like 799. You can just go through these tests, pack 1, pack 2 till pack 15. I would say just go through it. There could be no better way revising your test or revising your syllabus. If you get into this, you'll revise your syllabus like in months. Okay, we are keeping our chapter 3 continues. Okay, so the land use categories as maintained in the land forest records are as follows. So you must be knowing we have talked about 2 things. What are those 2 things? One is the administrative unit. Another one was Survey of India. So this basically depends on those mapping and all. This is where you guys are going to work. The one who becomes IAS or RA or any administrative officer. Okay, so you are going to work over here. On this behalf, talking. These patterns are basically land revenue records. This is one. Okay, got my point? Understand my point? Because we'll be moving further from here only. Because what happens, Survey of India, we cannot directly things based on that. And what the differentiation is, these are being maintained according to these land revenue records. Okay, you must be knowing the forest, barren and wasteland put to non-agriculture uses. We have these categories, 9 categories over here. This question can be directly asked to you as well. Yes, this gives you so much of content. Okay, forest, you must be knowing. It is important to note that the under actual forest cover is different from area classified as forest. Right? Later is the area which government has identified and demarcated for forest growth. The land revenue record are consistent with the later definition. Okay, thus there may be an increase category without an increase in the actual forest cover. Got it? I think you must have got it by reading itself. Okay, I just read it for you. Very simple language. What happens is you just need to understand what concept we were talking. Okay, the first one is barren and wasteland. You can desert land, ravines, those hilly terrains. These are basically the wastelands. Okay, which actually we cannot brought in patient. You cannot be doing sand dunes of Rajasthan. You cannot cultivate much over there, which cannot be cultivated. So they are consistent. Banjar bhumi, you must be knowing about. In Hindi, we talk about banjar thing. So the wasteland one were cultivated. Okay. When it comes to land put to non-agriculture uses, land under settlement, rural and urban, infrastructure, industry, shops, etc. are included in this category, and expansion in the secondary and tertiary would lead to increase in this category of land use. So what I was talking about, the conversion thing, right? People convert their agriculture, because you know what happens after not after certain years, after continuous years of use, the agricultural land starts losing its productivity, it becomes less fertile. Okay, so people start converting it into the this thing, commercial use. So land for non-agriculture uses, whatever is not related to agriculture, be it commercial, be it or anything, you have to create something, resorts or anything, any infrastructure, shops, schools, hospitals, that will be considered under non-agriculture use. Area under permanent pastures and grazing land, again, panchayats or the government, only a small proportion of this land is privately owned. Basically, this comes under common property resources of the government. Okay. Chara, you must have heard. Why I'm using these Hindi words? Because many of you must be working for the government, where Hindi words you can link it directly. Okay. Area under permanent pastures and grazing. Area under permanent pastures and grazing land. This is the same. Okay. We'll start from here. The same thing has come. Okay. Area under slopes and grooves. What we're doing is we have this land. Categorizing. This is our land and we are categorizing. Okay. This is forest. This one is barren and wasteland. This is like we have converted into commercial use. This is pastures and grazing land. This is the degree of land we are talking about. Then it comes stable wasteland. This is like if you visit to any of the an area which has been uncultivated for more than 5 years, that comes under cultivable wasteland, because it becomes, after improving it through reclamation practices, like it becomes fertile then. Not fertile exactly, it becomes useful. Okay. Then current fallow. What is current fallow land? Current fallow land is the land which is left without cultivation for one agriculture. Fallowing is the cultural practice adopted for giving the land. Okay, from here we are talking about the reclamation of the land which has been wasted, which has been done. You have to categorize. Okay, ceased and barren, link the stories. Okay, it was forest, then it was like barren, then we converted it into commercial use, then it was for pastures, then we realized we are doing it too much, then we just started reclaiming it, so we started creating the cultivable wasteland which has been left for more than. Very important to remember, you can find from here. Then current fallow, less than one or one agriculture year. Okay, in other words, fallow other than the current fallow, then net sown area. Okay, this is important. The 50% of land on which crops are sown and harvested. Sown area. Very simple land. I don't know why you guys are like, you're not doing it with me. It becomes so easy. If you sit and read it, the mind start linking its wire somewhere else. That's very true. I have been through the same feeling in a student. Our mind start connecting some other wires and we just come to losing our connect the book. So what you can do is open your book, read it with me, put on your earphones. We'll finish it like in 30-40 minutes maximum. Then you can revise it. I know you guys keep on scrolling the those things, what we call it, reels. You keep on scrolling that. You can hear this as well. Make use of it. Yeah. If I ask you land use changes in India, then go with this. Land use in a region, to extent, it is influenced by the nature of economic activities carried out in that. So, how the land use patterns are in India, you need to understand about it. You know this thing like this things, what we call it, economic activities changes over time depending on the demand. Then we call it like any other natural resources is fixed. At this stage, one need to appreciate three things of changes in an economy and undergoes. If you are going through some changes in economic activity, then you are going into some other changes, then you are going into some other changes. Okay, so affects the land uses the economy measured in terms of value. Okay, like thing over here is when the economic activities changes over time, you have to note down the three things. There are three changes which happens. The size of the economy in terms of value and services produced in the economy grows over time as a result of inflation. So the size of the economy increases. Mind, right? Land use changes in India. I can literally tell you, if you will show your great interest to these videos, I can even finish one chapter in 2 pages. You just have to read those one-liners. Because first you need to understand, you need to develop the understanding of the topic, right? You need to develop that understanding. Then I can give you the pointers. Okay, this point, this point, this point, this point, this point. I can give you the pointers. But for that, you have to study yourself as well. Just finish it with me. I don't like when you people are not studying well. You have to study, you have to work hard, you have to work in a definite direction. You just don't go for the hard work. You have to do the smart work. So join various, it's providing everything for free. You can even enroll. Just you have to enroll for the test series. Everything other than that is free. Every mentorship is free with that. You can contact directly to sir and I. Okay. So land use changes, economic activities changes over time. When economic activities are changing, you need to understand that thing that many other natural resources are also changing. So the size of the economy changes. What happens when the size of economic changes, like income level factors of changes, pressure on land will increase. Okay, then secondly, the composition of economy. Okay, first one was size of economy, then composition of economy. It also changes with time. What we talk about composition, you must have heard about it, like we were maximum of the people were engaged in agriculture activities. Now what happens, the secondary grow much faster than the primary sector. That is very important. Like you will find more teachers over here. People are moving more towards the service sector economy. You must have heard about the primary, secondary, and tertiary sectors. I think you be the anything. Agriculture is primary, then secondary is manufacturing, tertiary is which like output is in the form of service. Teachers are under the tertiary category. Doctors, we just give in service. Okay, this type of changes in developing countries, we are developing countries like India, the process would result in a gradual shift of land from agriculture use to non-agriculture. Again, conversion of agriculture land into the commercial land. Okay, switching its purpose from being the agriculture to commercial thing. Okay, then the third phase is, though the contribution of agriculture activities reduces over time, but the pressure on land of agriculture activities does not decline. The reason for continued pressure on agriculture land is, we are saying that economic activities are increasing. With that, we are saying the size changes. With that, we are saying the composition changes. Now we are saying that contribution of agriculture, we are talking about contribution, but here comes a point, that is pressure. That when the agriculture things have reduced, why the pressure on the agriculture land has continued. In developing countries, the share of population dependent on agriculture usually declines much more slowly compared to the decline of sector share in GDP. Getting my point? The number of people that the agriculture sector has to feed is increasing day by day. You are saying that agriculture land, people have shifted from agriculture primary sector to the tertiary sector, but you must also know this thing that economic activities has increased, population has increased. Like earlier we had this much of land and like 10 people were working on it. Now the land size has reduced, but those 10 people have not gone anywhere. They're still producing those things which they were producing earlier on this land, now on this land. So the pressure has increased. So the share of population dependent, you must be knowing this thing. The share of those 10 people have not gone anywhere. They are also dependent on this. The land has reduced. Those 10 people are dependent on this land now. Okay. So India has gone major changes in these things from the past 4 to 5 decades. Okay, and influence the land use changes in the countries. You just read it. I think you must have got this land use changes in India. 3 pointers: size, composition, pressure on land. Why the pressure on land has is declining less slowly, because you should know this thing. The people dependent, that percentage declines slowly as compared to the agricultural land. Okay. Excuse me. Figures which has been mentioned over here. 100 will be very much clear about things. Okay. So one more thing. We know this thing that 4 categories have undergone increase. 4 categories are there which has undergone increase. And 4 have registered decline. 4 are increasing and 4 have declined. Share of area under forest, area under non-agriculture use, current fallow land which has been left for 1 year and 1 net year, shown has increased. Of course, economic activities are rising. We are moving from primary to tertiary and secondary. So of course, that's a very basic thing. If you will pay attention to my things, you will start linking the things. I'm very much sure about it. We are leaving nothing over here. Nothing. We are just covering every even single line I'm covering. Like no matter if you are a beginner to the preparation you'll be able to understand it. Watch it once, twice, thrice. Keep on watching it. You'll get it. I don't know, students start ignoring NCRTs, then they say that basics are clear. Until and unless you don't clear your basics, you won't be able to write a good answer. I'm very much sure about it. The rate of increase is highest in case of area under non-agriculture use, right? Because Indian economy is changing. Then the increase in share of under forests can be accounted for increase in demarcated area. The increase in current fallow land cannot be explained from the information pertaining for point. 2 points, the trend of current fallow fluctuates at a great deal over years depending on the variability of rainfall and cropping seasons. The increasing net zone area and recent phenomena due to use of cultivable wastelands for agriculture purpose. Okay, net zone area is increasing. How? Because those cultivable land now they are getting fertile, they are becoming cultivable now. Okay. Sorry. And you know where the decline has occurred? Under non-agriculture use, the expansion of building activities over the land, over village and cities. There are 4 categories which have shown the decline. Of course, if net zone areas increase, that means barren and wasteland has decreased. Cultivable wasteland has decreased. Area under pastures have decreased. Free crops and fallow land have decreased. The following explanations can be given for the why we have this declining trend over here. As the pressure on land increases both from agriculture and non-agriculture sector, the wasteland and witness, of course, because it has it has become cultivable, right? It has become cultivable. The decline in land under pastures and grazing lands can be explained by pressures from agriculture land. Illegal encroachment due to expansion of cultivation on common pasture land is largely responsible for this decline. Okay, so if this can be asked from you people that mention the reasons for declining trends in the barren and wastelands, in the cultivated wastelands, pastures and tree crops and fallow lands. Okay, you remember we talked about the common property resources where? Think we had talked about it in the categories of land. Here it is. Area under permanent pastures and grazing land. I'm not leaving anything for you people. I think I should go live and just start asking from you people so that you pay attention. Let's see how you shows your interest in studying so we can move further, right? See, what was area under permanent pastures and grazing land? Most of the steppe land is owned by village panchayats or the government. Only a small proportion of this land is privately owned. The land owned by village panchayat comes under the common property resource. Common means that is available for everyone. So that is common property resource. Got it? So like what happened? People devote so many hours. You can just leave your animals there. They can just go and graze there. Pasturing of lands is there. Okay. So minor forest products can be grown there. Like fruits, nuts, fiber, medicinal plants are there. They comes under common property resources. Then if we start linking this thing, then it gets links to tribals as well. So many points are there. Like if you talk about common property resource, just remember one thing, that every member has the right to access and use this thing. Okay. Then when we talk about you must be knowing this thing, right? No need to discuss this much. Okay. This is the thing. Let's move further. Agriculture land use in India. We have to just a second. When we talk about agri, we have talked about how it changed in India, what are the categories. When we talk about agriculture land use in India, we know this thing that land resources are the most crucial thing for any nation, either it be developing or developed. Because what you're going to eat, if agriculture is like spoiled, then what you're going to eat. So if it is not there, so land resources plays a very crucial role in the livelihood of people. We know we are like more an agriculture nation. Okay, so you know this thing. On what thing you are going to do the agriculture? Of course, land. So land resources is purely, it broadly influences the agriculture. So let's read it. Agriculture is a purely land-based activities, unlike secondary and tertiary activities. Secondary and tertiary activities can be done anywhere. Like I am teaching you from somewhere in India. you are watching me from somewhere in India. Right? You need to study with fun. Why I have to put on this camera and all is like, you have to study with fun. You need to understand this thing. Like, you need to be cheerful even while teaching or while studying. It applies to everyone. Right? Enjoy the studies. It's for your better future only. Otherwise, government have policies for the unemployed people as well. But work hard, okay? We are not here to demotivate you. We are here to just motivate you that start studying. I know Vaishyans are studying. Of course, they are studying. They are being in direct contact. They are watching these videos. This is like their ultimate revision thing. But we are still teaching everything from the scratch. In other words, contribution of land in the agriculture output is more compared to its contribution in the output in the other resources sectors. This lack of access to land is directly correlated with incidence of poverty in rural areas. If anyone in the rural area does not have a land, he works on somebody else's land, then he gets work. If he doesn't get works at times, so that is considered as poor in rural areas. So it's the reason of poverty in rural area. Okay, then again, if you have so much of land somewhere in the desert, that's of no use. It depends on the productivity of agriculture as well. Okay, in rural area, aside from its value as a productive factor, land ownership has a social value. Yes, if you have more of land, then your social value is very high. Like, the person has 100 of acres of land, 200 acres of land. That creates a very much wealth. Serve as a security for credit, natural hazards, contingencies. No matter if your crops are getting spoiled in a one season, in a particular, then you can other land as well. Okay. So if you talk about the total stock of agricultural land resource, that is the total stock means the total cultivable land that can be calculated by, you first should need to add the net sown area, then all the fallow lands which has been left without any agriculture thing, then the cultivable wasteland. Add these things, three things, and what you will get is total cultivable land. You will get this thing. Okay. Then table 1, go and watch it, that over the years there has been a marginal decline in available total stock of cultivable land because people are converting into commercial use. Okay, there has been a greater decline of cultivable land in spite of corresponding decline of cultivable wasteland. Alright. So we have discussed it that the scope of bringing additional and under net zone area in India is very much limited. So there is very urgent and high time to evolve and adopt land saving technologies. Okay, so if we talk about the cropping intensity is this. See, we are focused on cropping intensity things. Yeah, we had such technologies can be classified. So we were talking about that there's an urgent need to have the land saving technologies. So what are those land saving technologies that can be classified into two categories? Those which raise the yield of any particular crop per unit area, and those which increase the total output per unit area of land from all cropping grown over one agriculture year by increasing land use intensity. The advantage of later kind of technology that along with increasing output from limited land, it also increases the demand of labor significantly. So ultimately, if the land is increasing, the crop certain amount crop has been increased, so labor increases. So if employment, then poverty is reduced in the rural areas. Okay, for a labor abundant country like India, yes, very important. Put it somewhere in your answer. Land scale labor intensity country in the India, a high cropping intensity is desirable not only for fuller utilization of land resources but also for reduced employment in the rural areas. We have talked about it. Okay, this is very important. Net zone area. Okay, net zone area. All right. Cropping season in India, you must be knowing this thing. If the time is from June to September, we call it Kharif. If it's the winter one, we call it Rabi. And if in the middle of that, we call it Zaid. Okay. So in northern state, the winter, these June to September crops are rice, bajra, jowar, all those millets, and here it makes ragi, jowar, groundnut. Then we talk about wheat, gram, rapeseeds and mustards, barley, rice, maize and all those same, vegetable, fruits and fodders, that horticulture thing. I'm sorry, rice, vegetable and fodders. We know this thing, there are three cropping seasons. The Kharif season coincides with the southwest monsoon. You must have read about southwest monsoons. Okay, retreating monsoon, you must have studied it in class 11. If you have not, then go and watch the videos. Very important. If you are not able to link this thing, very important. You need to know this thing very well. Southwest monsoons, if not, then go and watch the video. It's okay. I'm not demotivating any one of you. It's just that I'm making you realize that go and watch the videos. Okay. Tropical crops, we are going to study these crops in our second part of this chapter. Food grains. The Rabi seasons begins on the onset of winter in October, the winter one. Okay. The low temperature conditions, you can read it. Okay, so these are basically the cropping seasons in India. The summers, winters, monsoon, you can call it. Okay. This is very important. Remember this thing. You just draw this chart. If somebody asks you about the cropping season in India, just draw this chart in the beginning itself. The person will get to know that this person knows everything about this topic. This is like gist of things. Then types of farming. How the farming has been categorized, basically irrigated and rain-fed, the Barani thing. On the basis of main source of moisture, we are what base we are keeping over here is moisture. So irrigated and rain-fed. There is a difference in nature of irrigated farming as well as based on objective of irrigation, that is protective of productive. Protective of productive. The object of protective irrigation is to protect the crops from adverse effect of soil moisture deficiency, which often means that irrigation acts as a supplementary source of water over and above the rainfall. The strategy of this kind of irrigation is to provide soil moisture to maximum possible area. Productive irrigation is meant to provide sufficient soil moisture in the cropping season to achieve high productivity. In such irrigation, the water input per unit area of cultivable land is higher than the protective irrigation. This was thing for, I think, did you this. Okay, remember this thing. What actually basically what is protective irrigation is to protect your crops from adverse effect of soil moisture deficiency. The deficiency of moisture in it leads to, like, you need to it basically then depends on the rainfall, because the water, more the water, and it will suffice for your soil. The strategy of this kind of irrigation is to provide the soil moisture to maximum possible area. Productive irrigation, is to protect it from the soil moisture. We are talking about productive, D. Productive irrigation is meant to provide sufficient soil moisture in cropping season to achieve high product. Productive is we just want to grab the maximum productivity from that thing. Okay, protective and productive, very important, very 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 important. If you are going to mention these things in your answer, it makes your answer valuable. Protective and productive irrigation. Then we come to rain-fed farming. It's further classified on the basis of adequacy of soil moisture during cropping season into dryland and wetland. Wetland area you must be knowing. Okay, dryland farming is largely confined to the region having annual rainfall less than 75. Okay, so these are basically hardy and drought resistance area, like my from Rajasthan. So ragi, bajra, moong, gram, guar. Here it's more about dryland farming. And when we talk about wetland farming, the rain is excess, soil moisture is excess. So such region may face flood and soil erosion. You must be knowing this thing. You'll say that okay, then the area near to the coastal must be having so much of moisture. No, it leads to soil erosion as well. So there does need to be a balance of things. So protective and productive, they work hand in hand. So when we talk about productive, we make sure that in the cropping season, it gets a particular moisture to increase the productivity. Okay, got it? Types of farming. Just give me a second. Sorry. Yeah. I had some plans you can do that, then do that. Otherwise, we are here to serve you, no matter you study or not. See. Wait. Why it's running? You must have this thing. Do not forget about this thing. We have not finished yet. Don't go anywhere. We have not finished it. So land use category. Okay. 2 things were there. Administrative unit and this. Where is that? Survey of India. 2 categories were there. Then based on the administrative things, we had these categories. Okay. First point. Then land use changes in India. We are focusing on land use. You know this thing. We are focusing on land use over here. So categories. Land use in India. We had talk about it. Then this is very important, right? Size, composition and contribution. You need to create a map. Okay, well, first point was the second point. Then you can write anything inside. I know you have studied this much. Anything means sensible. I don't mean that write like your BS or BCom examination. No. If you remember, okay, size, composition and whatever the third point is, then you'll be able to, okay, size of agriculture, what size of agriculture we are actually talking about. Okay, then common property resources, very important. Agriculture land use in India, again important. This thing again important. Cropping season in India, very, very important. Market. This thing, geography, this is like heart of geography. Yes. When geography we start ending, we on climate or we end up on crops. We do not go on human settlement or something or population. If we talk about geography, we directly either we talk about climate, weather or those clouds or crops. Very important. Okay. Then types of farming, again important, productive and productive. Yeah, what you have to do is just read about what are food grains, the dane and all, okay? Oil seeds. Just read it about. Do not from the book. Okay, you can go it from book, but that will confuse you more. What are food grains? So oil seeds, food grains, fruits, vegetables, how these are classified, how rain, temperature. I've left this page for you people only. Just make a food grain thing over here. Do not write on detail. I will teach you how rice thing is working in India, how bajra is there in India, how jute is in India. I will be teaching you, but you have to create a mind map. Just create the columns and rows. Read about it. Whenever you read, or do anything, just keep on moving your hand. It makes your study valuable. So I hope you like this video. Hope you will show your interest and you will study it. Other than that, forget to watch the previous 2 classes. Start from here also. If you have not watched them, just go and watch them in 2x so that you continue with me. Finish it with me. I'm going to finish it very soon. Very soon I'm going to finish this lecture, this book thing. Okay. And again, this offer is valid only till 31st of January. And this is again for the selected students. So be the one, question, and we will help your success. These tests and subsets are very, very important. You'll find a consolidated. Vaishsar has put his so much efforts for these things. So do not miss it. Very important. So I hope every one of you is doing great. Stay safe. Stay happy. In journey, everything will fall. Just smile and study. Okay. Do not worry for anything. You got the one life. Enjoy it. Also, you got the one life. That doesn't mean you're going to waste it. But enjoy it. Okay. Enjoy it. Enjoy your studies. And love yourself. Be happy. Be kind. Keep studying. Bye bye.